It's Etch with Blue Leaf Zoo. As some of you may have heard, the UKZ has changed management and has been rebranded as UKZ Season 2. This means most of UKZ is restarting their zoos, since UKZ Season 2 has made a lot of major changes from UKZ Season 1, especially involving animal distribution and the importance of trading between zoos. A lot of those changes make it unfeasible to continue our current zoos. For those of you who are unaware, the UKZ is a small group of Zoo Tycoon 2 players who roleplay in an imaginary game mode between players, and realism is key. Rather than catering to the needs of the animals in the game, we center our zoos around what we know about the animals in real life and their needs. We have a Discord group which you can find a link to in the description, and even if you don't plan on participating, you are welcome to join the group and simply say hello. Now, without further ado, let's move on to the video. Welcome back. You might notice the satellite image and the to-do list in the corner of the screen. Those are there because this was originally footage from a stream that has been edited and voiced over. My newest zoo is known as Blue Leaf Zoo and is actually situated in my hometown of LaGrange, Kentucky, in the fields across from my real-life house. The local farmer who owned that land sold the property to me so I could build a zoo. The crops have been torn up since then, and now it's a really massive dirt field that will hopefully turn into a grass over time. Because I'm very familiar with the area, this recreation will be faithful in a lot of ways, but I've taken a lot of creative liberties too, especially with the buildings and the foliage. I don't know what type of trees are there, although I do know we have quite a few sugar maples in our yard. That said, you might have noticed that I have already done quite a bit of work before the footage even started. I did most of this off camera because the original stream footage was over an hour before speeding it up, and I didn't even get a fifth of the final product done in that time. So, obviously, won't be finishing this on camera, but I'll show pictures of the final product at the end. The zoo itself hasn't even been started yet, and this is just the surroundings of the zoo. But I put a lot of detail into it, and I think you guys will really like it when you see it finished. You might also notice that I've cut out a bit of the footage because it's so long and I don't want to speed it up too much, or it becomes kind of hard to follow. Most of the parts that have been cut out are long pauses and that sort of thing, so don't worry, you didn't miss much of anything. The trees next to the fence from the start of the video are a lot more diverse than the trees in the rest of the map, and I was trying to create a kind of overgrown feel, but I don't really like how it turned out. So I might redo that area, but if I'm honest, I probably won't. But if you do see it change, that's why. The rest of the map doesn't have as many of the orange and fall colored trees as you see here, and I make better use of the Goya bushes from the round table, which basically is a tree that comes in a lot of different sizes. But I downloaded it after finishing the stream, and I found it looked a lot better than what I had been doing, so I used a ton of them, and I mean like a ton. They're everywhere. I hope it's not too obvious though, since I mostly use them to fill in the empty spaces so you can't see past the tree line. There's trees pretty much all along the borders of the map in order to hide the ugly cartoon roads that Zoo Tycoon 2 uses to surround the map. I don't know if we're there in the video yet, but at one point I found this statue of like a desert snake, but I found it odd since it was found under the biomes tab. Like, when do you paint? Like, when you go to paint the biome terrains and you scroll all the way to the last biome, it had something labeled like desert or desert statue or something with a snake icon, and I was confused, so I clicked on it, and I'm glad I didn't crash, and it gave me a statue. I assumed it's something I did to my game with the mods, but I don't really know what I could have possibly done to make that happen. Speaking of biomes, my biome tab has been screwed up by my mod, so you might notice it looks a bit funky when I try to select between glass, dirt, and water. But you'll know what I mean when I see it, and if you haven't already noticed it. Not all the biomes do it, just some of them, so whenever I select between grass or dirt, I have to go to a biome that hasn't been screwed up, select it there, and then switch back to whatever biome I want. It's a workaround, but at least it prevents me from going through my massive mod list. Also, some of you might be aware that last zoo for the UKZ, Nelson and G Zoological Gardens. I may or may not continue it, but if I do, it is no longer associated with the UKZ. It definitely won't be my main focus, and I wouldn't really hold up your hopes for timely updates of any sort. I did have kind of a haunted storyline going on for Nelson and G. And I hope to have something similar going on in Blue Leaf Zoo as far as the continuous storyline, but not quite the haunted part. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do this, but I imagine events will be a lot more spread out than in Nelson and G, and it'll stick a lot closer to reality than the previous ghost stories and the strange mutated deer. The footage should be wrapping up pretty soon here, so I think we'll move on to the pictures and then we have the outro. Bye guys! So that's all I've got for you guys today, and I hope you liked it, and if you did, please click the like button down below, and if you can possibly subscribe to my channel if you want to know whenever I post a new video. I also have an invite link to the UCZ Discord on this page, so please do drop by anytime or just check us out. Bye-bye!